me and my little peanut today. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited for everyone watching. Welcome. My name is Liz. This is Lorenzo, little boy. Is it Lorenzo, little baby? He's a little fussy right now, so excuse me if I just keep rocking back and forth, but I'm so excited to start this YouTube. You guys, I have wanted to do YouTube for a long time, but I just never had the courage to just get in front of the camera and do it. But right now it's just like, why not? You know, like, what's holding me back? And my answer was nothing. Like, I was holding me back. So I can't, I can't be shy. I can't not do things that I want to do because I'm holding myself back. Like, that's stupid. So yeah, so I am starting my new YouTube channel. This is my first official YouTube video. The other two videos I just posted today were my IGTVs that I created like last month, a few weeks ago. So yeah, this is my channel. I will be posting anything that you guys want to see, whether it's like mom updates or I'll be posting things like mom updates, cooking videos. I do like to cook. I'll be posting vlogs with me, my fiance, and little baby. I'll be posting things about my skincare or my hair care because I am working with Monet. So doing that, I also have all my products, and I am actually receiving all my skincare on Saturday in 2 days. So I will do a review and I'll do a skincare haul with what I got. Oh. So yeah, so I told you guys to ask me on my Instagram anything you guys want to know or like questions that you guys might have for me. And some of you guys asked me things about like me, like when I found out I was pregnant, how old I was. I am 25. I was 24 when I found out I was pregnant, and then I had just turned 25. I found out I was pregnant in July, like the first weeks of July. And when I found out I was pregnant, no, it was not planned. Little boy, as much as I loved him, no, he was not part of my plan, but God wanted him to be in my life, so here he is. But yeah, in all honesty, like, no, we didn't plan to have a baby right now. We didn't feel like the time was right, but honestly, like, the time, oh, what's wrong, little boy? You're not happy? You're not happy? The time is never gonna be right, okay? You just have to, if you want a family, just do it. Money, everything, like, you'll figure it out along the way. And yeah, like, honestly, like, don't get me wrong, it's been so hard. So hard. Oh my God. Like, I've cried numerous times, more than probably I can count myself, but it's so worth it, okay? Like, do you see this little cutie pie? He is the love of my life, besides my fiance. And it's hot in here, so I'm a little out of breath. Yeah, so no, it was not planned for him to come. When I found out, the day that I found out, the reason why I kind of figured I was because I was already like 2 weeks late on my period, and I'm only, if I'm ever late, it's always like a few days, but never like 2 weeks. So I was just like, okay, like something's happening here, you know. But I didn't want to take a pregnancy test because in the past I have taken some and they've been negative. So I just didn't want to like jinx myself or like just waste my money basically on tests just to find out that they're negative, and I would get my period like the next day. So I did end up going into Target and I bought a pregnancy test because I just, something in my body felt like I was pregnant. And sure enough, I bought the test. I went home and I took them. I was by myself at the house. My fiance at the time was working when I had gotten home from work, so I took them by myself. And when they said positive, whew, man, I started sweating so bad, and I also was just freaking out. I was just like, what the fuck? You know, because I was just ready for it to say negative, like all the other ones that I've taken in the past. I was so set that it was gonna say, no, like, you're not pregnant. So when they said positive, the first person I called was my older cousin. I called her and I was like crying hysterically. I was freaking out. I didn't know like what I was doing. Yeah, I called my cousin and I was freaking out, and she got scared because she thought like I was freaking out because I didn't want the baby, but that wasn't the case. It was just because obviously me being pregnant isn't like in my plan, or it wasn't in my plan at the time. But yeah, so then she like called me down, and like I didn't want to tell my parents or anyone yet, because you know, like when you recently find out you're pregnant, you want to make sure everything is okay, and you know, you have a healthy pregnancy before you announce it to your family or your friends, and you get your hopes up, and you know, like something can happen. So we didn't want to announce it to anyone. I did tell my fiance that same night. When I told him, I had gone back to Target and I bought like a little box. I still have it. That's where we have like all his like first things in there now, like from the hospital and everything he has. But I bought a little book, and I had 4 pregnancy tests. I put them all in the little box, and it was like a little baby blanket with like an elephant on it, and it just said you're pregnant. And when he got home, I gave him the box like as a surprise. I made him close his eyes and everything, and yeah, he cried, you know, I cried. So I mean, obviously like it wasn't in our plan at the time, but God couldn't have brought him at a better time for me, actually, personally. So yeah, so that's how I found out I was pregnant. I was pregnant last year in July. That's when I got pregnant, and I had my baby March 26th. That's the main reason for this video, is because of my birth story, because a lot of you guys on my Instagram and my Facebook that I'm close to, I haven't really had a chance to like explain it to you guys or share my story with you, and you guys are interested in knowing like what happened, etc, etc. So that's why we're here today. But okay, it's kind of long, sister, so get some popcorn, get some hot Cheetos con limon, whatever you want. Okay, we're just gonna go right in. All right, so when I worked up until I was 38 weeks, so I worked 2 weeks prior to my due date, and I don't recommend that to anyone because it is so exhausting, especially if you're working at a job. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Stand you up. If you're working at a job where you have to be standing around all day long and like walking around, and you don't just get to like sit or be somewhere calm, it's exhausting. My feet were so swollen, like they look like fat tamales. They grew like 2-3 sizes. I'm a size 6, okay, but those last months, those last weeks before I gave birth, my shoe went up to like an 8.5. I don't know how, but it did. And all I would wear were my Crocs because it's all that fit me, and even then like they were still tight because my feet were just that swollen. My ankles were super swollen. Like it didn't even look like I had ankles. That's how swollen I was. So I worked up until my 2 weeks, and then we bought a house, so we moved to our new house, and we also had a baby shower. So I worked up until my 2 weeks, and then I had my baby shower on March 1st, so like a few weeks before his due date. So I had my baby shower. All our friends and family came. It was amazing. Thank you to all our friends and family. If you're watching this, for coming to our baby shower and for supporting us. We wouldn't be where we're at without all of your support and all of the things that you guys generously gifted to us. We're very thankful, right, Lorenzo? Right? Very thankful. Very, very thankful. And so after the baby shower, within the following Sunday, we moved to our new house, which is where we're at now. So we moved to our new house, and mind you, I'm like 9 months pregnant, about to pop. Literally, like I was so pregnant, like scary how big I got when I was pregnant. And so that was exhausting. And then I think the week after we moved, it was like a week and a half later is when I delivered him. But the week of my due date, I was due on March 25th, which was a Wednesday. Monday night, you know, before my due date, I started contracting. I started spotting a little bit. I was bleeding a little bit, so I was having contractions since Monday night. Mind you, I didn't deliver until Thursday morning. Okay, so from Monday till Thursday I was contracting, all because this little boy didn't want to come out, but he was ready to come out. So Monday night I was contracting, but I didn't want to go to the hospital, obviously, because I was like, no, it's too soon. So I had my doctor's appointment, my 40-week checkup, the next day on Tuesday. Well, you tired? He's tired, but he won't go to sleep. I had my doctor's appointment Tuesday morning, which is the day before my due date, on the 24th. So I went and I told my doctor how I was contracting and how like I started spotting a little bit of blood, and I was just like really like anxious. And that day was like, well, that time when I delivered was when everything with COVID had just started also. So we were all very like new to like who we could bring to the hospital, who they weren't allowing to bring. But at that point they already stopped allowing people to be with you during your delivery. So it was just me and my fiance, which I was really bummed about because I really wanted my mom to be there with me, but she couldn't. I mean, obviously it's okay now, so we're fine. Sorry, he's very a little bit tired and cranky now. Hold on. Did you pacify him? Sometimes he plays with my emotions and he wants it and then he doesn't. Anyways, so Tuesday I went to the doctor. I went to go see my doctor in the morning, and I told her what I was feeling. That was my 40-week checkup, and she told me just to, you know, if I wanted to go to the hospital, I could, but that she didn't recommend me to go to the hospital because I was only like 3 centimeters dilated that morning. I wasn't even like too far out. If you're not aware, you have to be at least 10 centimeters in order to deliver, and I was nowhere near that. And for some people, like when you start dilating, like it can take some women like an hour and then they'll be ready to deliver, and it can take some women like myself like way longer. Okay, so I didn't end up going to the hospital that morning. I went to my mom's house and I hung out there for a while because I couldn't go back home because we lived like 40 minutes away, and I don't want to go home away from the hospital in case I did have to go back and into the, you know, to my delivery. So I was at my mom's house all day on Tuesday, contracting all day long, so uncomfortable. Contractions are a B, okay? They are so uncomfortable. I will never take like my period cramps for granted again, because contractions are like a whole nother beast, okay? Let me just say that. Period, sister, okay? Period poo. Period poo. Period, say hi, baby. Say hi, my little baby. So yes, I was contracting since Monday night. Monday night I was contracting. I went to the doctor on Tuesday morning. They still, you know, I didn't go to the hospital yet. So with me contracting, like I was just walking around. I went for a lot of walking. Okay, I did a lot of walking. Hold on, this is annoying. Okay, I walked around a lot, like around the neighborhood. I was just trying to get as much exercise as I could in before I did have to deliver, even though it was so uncomfortable for me to even like stand, to walk around. Like my back was in excruciating pain. My legs were so sore. They were in so much pain. Like my parts down there were on fire. Everything was just hurting so bad. And Tuesday night, the day before my due date, I decided I had to go to the hospital because I couldn't take it anymore. I had taken a shower, and I realized, no, like I have to go to the hospital. I feel like he's coming already, even though he wasn't. Okay, he still wasn't coming. So I went to the hospital Tuesday night. I When I got to the hospital, I was only 5 centimeters dilated. So I went from 3 centimeters Tuesday morning to 5 centimeters Tuesday night. So almost an entire day just to increase 2 centimeters. Okay, so I was still like not ready to deliver. But they had me in this room where they were checking me in. I was in there for like, I think like 2 hours, maybe 3. And then they finally took us to our actual room. And I got an epidural when I was 6 centimeters dilated, and this was already like Wednesday, the next day at like 3 p.m. Okay, from the whole Tuesday night that I was at the hospital up until like Wednesday, the following day, I asked for an epidural because I just couldn't tolerate the pain anymore. Like I was screaming in the delivery room. It was just so uncomfortable for me. Like I thought like I was gonna pass out, and I just didn't want to tolerate the pain anymore. So I asked for the epidural. They gave it to me. If you've never gotten an epidural before, that was also very freaking hard because you have to be extremely still when they do it, and obviously they hit a nerve in your spine when they're giving you the epidural, and so you feel that big old needle. It's like the needle was like this, if not maybe a little bigger, a little smaller, I don't remember, but it was huge, biggest needle I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, so they gave me the epidural. My fiance had to leave the room because he couldn't be in there, so it was just me by myself, and I was just like really scared and vulnerable at that point, and I like felt like giving up because I had been in labor since, I had feeling contractions since Monday night, and it's now like Wednesday. It was like already like 6-7 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday, and I still wasn't like far enough, and so then I finally reached 8 centimeters, and that was like around like I think like that was around like 9 p.m. that I reached 8 centimeters finally. Okay, and it was like almost time to push. And mind you, I was having a natural birth, but that was not in God's plan because I got stuck at 8 centimeters. Are you not happy anymore? That wasn't in God's plan. I got stuck at 8 centimeters for about well, until I had to deliver, and that was like at 8 p.m. So you mind. For like 4 hours, okay, 4 hours, I was stuck at 8 centimeters. And the epidural was starting to fade away a little bit because he's me being tired. It started to fade away because I had, you know, I took it so early on that like obviously the pain was coming back already, and so the doctor came back in and just basically told me, listen, like, you are not dilating anymore. You've been stuck at 8 centimeters for this X amount of time already, and it's starting to become dangerous for the baby. So we're going to have to do an emergency C-section on you. And when you go in expecting one thing and it doesn't go like, I mean, obviously some things are gonna go wrong, but when it doesn't go like the exact way that you want it to go, sorry, it's very emotional for me still because in that moment when they told me I had to do a C-section, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like, you know, I felt very low, and, you know, I felt like I was trying so hard for such a long amount of hours, and for them just to tell me like, no, like, that's not the way that we want to do it, you know, like I really wanted to experience a natural birth, and sorry, that wasn't in God's plans, but you know, whatever I had to do to get him out, right? So so they basically didn't give me a chance to like think about it. They were just like, we have to go, and we have to go now. So they had to prep me, obviously, like for the C-section. They took me in a different room. My fiance, they had to like get him dressed as well, but he couldn't be in there while they were prepping me, so he had to wait in the first delivery room that we were at while I went into like the C-section like delivery room, where they were gonna do my surgery. And since I already had the epidural, they couldn't give me like the original medicine that they give women who get a C-section, that they don't feel anything, because it also had been so long that I was in labor already that it would have been dangerous, and they didn't want me to go to sleep with that medicine if they would have given it to me, so they didn't. So when I say I felt everything, you can ask Eber, my fiance. I felt everything, okay? I felt them when they were cutting me open. I felt them when everything that they pulled, because they pull like your intestines out basically, and I felt every pull, every tug. When it's hard for me to talk about. It's hard for me to talk about because it is so it was a traumatic experience for me, okay? Like, it wasn't like, oh, like so pleasant, like he comes out, he cries, you hold him, you experience that bond right away. No, like it was so traumatic for me. Like, I felt every single pain possible that I don't think you're supposed to feel. That's not normal, right? It's not normal for you to feel all that, but I felt all that. And I was just, most of it is a blur, like the moment of my surgery. But what I do remember is I blacked out like 5 times. I kept screaming. Like, I don't think I've ever yelled so loud in my life. I was like holding my fiance's hand so hard. They had like a sheet over you, so obviously you can't see like what's happening like down there and like in your stomach when what they're doing. But I felt everything. And Papa, I love you. I love you. I felt everything, and man, it was just something that I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, okay? Like, I don't think any woman should ever have to go through that. Like, going through labor alone is a lot, and then for them to just tell you like it's not enough, we're gonna have to do a C-section. I mean, obviously they told me like, you know, like I did everything I could, like it's not my fault, you know, but obviously like that goes in one ear and out the other when your mind is still set like, you know, you're a woman, you're supposed to push the baby out like naturally, you know, like, but it didn't go that way. So yeah, I felt everything, and it was very traumatic for me, and I will never forget that feeling. And when they finally took him out, they asked me if I wanted to hold him, but mind you, during the surgery, I blacked out like 5 times to the point where I thought I was going to die, like actually just flat out just die on the table. I didn't think I was gonna make it out alive. I just remember praying, and I remember just hoping to God that they got my baby out safely. And I just kept like asking them like, how's he doing, you know, like not even me, I just kept asking like, how's he doing, like how, you know, like where's he at, how's he doing, like are you guys almost done, like so when they finally took him out of me, I didn't want to hold him, only because like, not that I didn't want to see him, obviously I did, but I didn't want to hold him because I just wanted them to close me up and just finish, because it was just so traumatic for me. And he's cranky now. And yeah, I just wanted them to finish, and then I wanted to hold him after. But my fiance also didn't want to hold him in the moment. Like, he was just like he was just telling them like, no, like as long as he's okay, you know, just make sure that you know, I want you guys to focus on her, like me, and like close her up fine and properly. So yeah, so they closed me up, and I just remember I kept asking them like, oh, where's my baby, like how's he doing? And Lorenzo, no idea what was happening the entire time. He was so chill. He literally had his eyes open the entire time. He was so alert. He only cried like for a second when he came out of me, but after that he was just wide awake and just relaxed. And oops, he was just relaxed and just chilling. And yeah, and then we went back into the room where I was supposed to have my original natural delivery, and that's when I finally got to hold him. And when I held him, like, it was the best feeling in the world. Okay, like, if you haven't had a baby and you're planning to have a baby, the moment you do, you'll just know, like, nothing else matters. Like, all the pain that I went through, like, it all just instantly disappeared the minute, literally the second that he was in my hands. Okay, like, that's just how much of unconditional love like a mother has for their child. like all the pain I was in, like all the bleeding, nothing mattered. Nothing mattered. All that mattered was that he was here, and I finally got to see his face. For, you know, like being pregnant for 9 months, like you constantly wonder, like, what is he or she gonna look like? You know, what are they gonna act like? What are they gonna sound like? How are they gonna feel when you hold them? Like, and all that just like comes to life the minute that you hold them. And I just love my little baby so much. Today, okay, get together. We are officially 12 weeks postpartum today. Me and him. He's 12 weeks old. I am 12 weeks postpartum. Every Thursday we turn a new week, and I am in a better mental state than I was, you know, when I first had him, because I went through like a phase of depression where my mind was just not okay. Like, I just didn't feel like I was doing anything right. He wouldn't stop crying the first month. The first month was honestly a blur with him. Like, he wouldn't cry. He would cry every single like 10 minutes. He only slept for like an hour or 30 minutes, and he would constantly eat. So obviously we're new parents, we're sleep deprived. My fiance had to go back to work, so he's even more sleep deprived because he's at work all day, and then he has to come home and, you know, be awake and be with the baby, and I'm with the baby all day long, 24/7. So it's exhausting, and, you know, it can take a mental toll on anyone, and like it took a toll on me, you know, like, and I'm not gonna sit here and say it was all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, you know, and it's been great, because it hasn't, you know, but we're learning. Right, Linda? We're learning every day. And yeah, we're in a better place now. We're very happy. 12 weeks postpartum. I went back to work this past week, and that was so hard to leave him. I have never left him prior till then, for more than an hour or two. Like, I've left him with my mom for like 2 hours while I go do groceries or something, or I've left him with my fiance like for a few times that I've gone to the grocery store, you know, because of COVID, so we're all locked inside still. But I finally went back to work last Saturday, and it was, ask my fiance, I called home every hour. I just had anxiety. Like, I've never been away from him for so long, and it was just, you know, it's still like something that I'm getting adjusted to, but every day we learn something new about each other. And yeah, so that's it for my birth story. If there's anything else you guys like to see or hear about me, you know, like, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, and if you have, thank you so much for joining our channel. I will be posting lots of videos with me, Lorenzo, and my fiance Ever, and even my dogs. I have 2 dogs. A house full of people and animals in my house. So just let me know what you guys want to see below, and I look forward to posting more content for everyone. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, just comment below. Thank you.